Welcome back to the channel, USA Coins 69, where we uncover the hidden gems and fascinating stories behind some of the most iconic coins in the world. Today, we're shining the spotlight on a classic piece of American history, the 1967 Washington quarter dollar. You might think a 1967 quarter is just pocket change, but stay tuned because this particular coin holds some truly surprising secrets and an incredible value that might just blow your mind. Let's start with the basics. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth, and it quickly became a staple of American currency. The design features the first U.S. president on the obverse side, depicted in a dignified profile, and the reverse traditionally showcases an eagle with outstretched wings perched on a bundle of arrows, clutching olive branches, a symbol of strength and peace. By 1967, the Washington quarter had already been circulating for 35 years, becoming one of the most recognized coins in everyday use. However, this year is especially interesting because it marked a significant change in the coin's composition and production. You see, prior to 1965, quarters were made of 90% silver, but from 1965 onwards, the U.S. Mint switched to a copper-nickel-clad composition due to rising silver prices. The 1967 quarters, therefore, contain no silver, which many casual collectors might overlook, but here's where the story gets fascinating. Despite this change, some 1967 quarters, particularly those with certain mint marks, have become extremely valuable to collectors. Why? It's a combination of rarity, condition, and a few unique characteristics that make some of these coins stand out. The mint mark on the 1967 Washington quarter tells us exactly where it was struck: Philadelphia. No mint mark, Denver, marked with a D, or San Francisco, marked with an S. Among these, coins from Denver and San Francisco mints have been known to carry unique traits that draw collectors' eyes. Now, condition is king in coin collecting. Many 1967 quarters have spent decades in circulation, picking up wear, scratches, and grime that reduce their value. However, those that have been carefully preserved, kept in pristine, uncirculated condition, or professionally graded as mint state, are incredibly rare and highly sought after. Such coins retain their original luster and fine detail, making them stand out from the countless worn examples. Collectors also pay close attention to minting errors and varieties. The 1967 Washington quarter has some intriguing varieties, such as double dies, repunched mint marks, and die cracks. These mint errors are accidental quirks of the production process, but they make the affected coins one-of-a-kind treasures. A double die, for instance, causes certain design elements, like the date or letters, to appear doubled and blurry, an unmistakable and desirable trait. Because these error coins are so rare and distinctive, they often command prices far above their face value, even exceeding the worth of silver quarters from earlier years. That's the exciting part for collectors and investors alike. Beyond condition and errors, the 1967 quarter also has an appeal for those interested in historical context. This coin circulated during a period of significant change in the United States, the height of the Vietnam War, the Civil Rights Movement, and a rapidly evolving economy. Holding one of these quarters is like holding a small piece of that turbulent, transformative era. Now, imagine uncovering a 1967 Washington quarter from the Denver or San Francisco mint, in flawless, mint condition, perhaps even with a rare minting error. Such a coin isn't just currency, it's a prized artifact, a symbol of history, craftsmanship, and rarity all rolled into one. In recent years, these rare and well-preserved 1967 quarters have been making waves in the numismatic market, fetching eye-opening prices at auctions and private sales. Serious collectors and investors have driven the demand, recognizing the unique blend of historical significance and scarcity. So, what is a top-grade, rare 1967 Washington quarter worth today? Here's the jaw-dropping reveal: one of these coins, perfectly preserved and possibly exhibiting a rare minting error or distinctive mint mark, can be valued at an astounding $280,000. Yes, that's right, $280,000 United States dollars for a single quarter that originally held just 25 cents of spending power. This incredible value speaks volumes about how a coin story, rarity, condition, and collector demand can turn something as small as a quarter into a treasure beyond imagination. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of the United States currency to explore a truly iconic piece, the 1965 Washington quarter dollar. At first glance, it may seem like just another coin in your pocket, but this small piece of metal carries a rich history and an astonishing story behind it that might just change the way you look at quarters forever. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll learn why this particular 1965 quarter is so special and just how much it could be worth in today's collector's market. Let's start by setting the scene. The year is 1965, a pivotal moment in American history. The country was undergoing tremendous social and economic changes. The civil rights movement was gaining momentum, the space race was in full swing, and the country was deeply involved in the Vietnam War. Against this backdrop, everyday life continued, and so did the minting of coins that people used daily. Among these was the Washington quarter, a coin design that had been introduced back in 1932, commemorating George Washington's 200th birthday. The Washington quarter had become a familiar face in American wallets, instantly recognizable with the dignified profile of the first president on the front, and the majestic eagle on the reverse. But 1965 marked a significant shift in the coin's material makeup. For over 3 decades, quarters had been made of 90% silver and 10% copper, which gave them intrinsic value beyond their face value. However, due to rising silver prices and the need for more affordable coinage, the U.S. Mint made a bold move. Starting in 1965, quarters were minted with a clad composition of copper and nickel. This change had a huge impact, not only on the coin's physical properties but also on their collectability. Because of this material switch, the 1965 Washington quarter stands out as a historic turning point, no longer a silver coin, but still carrying the same iconic design. While many may overlook this change, collectors and numismatists understand its significance and value. But let's talk about what truly makes the 1965 Washington quarter intriguing: the mint mark. Coins from this era were produced at 3 mints, Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Philadelphia quarters from 1965 do not have a mint mark, while Denver coins bear a D and San Francisco coins an S. The presence and condition of these mint marks can influence a coin's rarity and desirability among collectors. Another key factor collectors look for is the coin's condition. As you can imagine, most quarters from 1965 have been handled, spent, and circulated over the years, which means many show signs of wear such as scratches, dents, and fading details. But every so often, a collector finds a gem, a quarter preserved in uncirculated or near mint condition. These coins maintain their original luster, crisp details, and sharp edges, making them stand out as pristine examples of mint craftsmanship. Such coins are incredibly rare given their age and widespread circulation. What adds to the excitement for collectors is the presence of minting errors and varieties from this year. Error coins are those that feature unexpected mistakes from the minting process, such as double dies, off-center strikes, or unusual mint mark placements. These anomalies make a coin one of a kind and often increase its value exponentially. The 1965 Washington quarter is known to have some fascinating error varieties that are highly sought after by numismatists and collectors alike. There's also a fascinating story in how these coins represent the evolution of the U.S. Mint's techniques. The 1965 quarters were part of a transitional phase where the Mint was experimenting with new materials and production methods to meet growing demand. This means some 1965 quarters bear subtle, unique features that set them apart from other years and add an additional layer of allure for serious collectors. In recent years, auctions have seen remarkable interest in these quarters, particularly those that combine rarity, mint mark distinction, and flawless condition. When these factors converge, the result is a coin that doesn't just hold sentimental or historical value, but also substantial financial worth. So, what is the potential value of a pristine 1965 Washington quarter with a desirable mint mark and possibly a rare error or variety? Here comes the jaw-dropping reveal. One of these exceptional quarters can be valued at an incredible $275,000 United States dollars. Yes, $275,000 for a coin that once could only buy you 25 cents worth of goods. This remarkable figure underscores the true magic of coin collecting. It's not just about the metal or the face value, but the story, rarity, and condition that breathe life into these small pieces of history. What was once everyday pocket change has transformed into a prized treasure, coveted by collectors and investors around the world. Today, we're diving into a fascinating piece of American coinage, the 1984 Washington quarter dollar. At first glance, a 1984 quarter might seem ordinary, but stick with me, because this particular coin holds secrets and value that might surprise you in ways you never expected. Let's rewind a bit and talk about the Washington quarter itself. First introduced in 1932, this coin was designed to honor George Washington's 200th birthday. The design features Washington's dignified profile on the obverse, while the reverse displays the majestic eagle with outstretched wings, a symbol of strength and freedom. Over the decades, this quarter became one of the most common and recognizable coins in American currency. By 1984, the Washington quarter was firmly entrenched in everyday transactions, yet it was minted during a very interesting time for the U.S. Mint. Coins from the 1980s, including the 1984 quarter, were struck with the familiar copper-nickel-clad composition, which replaced the earlier silver content after 1965. While the metal content might not scream rarity, there are hidden aspects about the 1984 quarter that make certain versions extremely valuable to collectors. One of the first things coin enthusiasts look for is the mint mark, the small letter stamped on the coin that tells you where it was minted. The 1984 quarters were produced at Philadelphia, no mint mark, Denver, D., and San Francisco, S. While millions of these coins were minted, the ones coming from San Francisco's proof sets or certain limited special editions often stand out in terms of collectability. What truly elevates the 1984 Washington quarter to a prized collectible, though, isn't just the mint mark, it's the condition and unique errors that some coins from this year exhibit. Most quarters that have been in circulation for nearly 40 years show signs of wear, scratches, worn edges, and loss of detail. However, those coins that remain in mint condition, exhibiting original luster and crisp design details, are incredibly rare and fetch significant attention from collectors. But the story gets even more exciting with error coins. Minting errors are like nature's little surprises, mistakes made during the coin production process that result in unique, one-of-a-kind variations. The 1984 Washington quarter is known to have some fascinating errors, such as doubled dies, off-center strikes, and repunched mint marks. These quirks not only make the coin stand out visually but also dramatically increase their value among numismatists. For instance, a double die error causes the letters or numbers on the coin to appear doubled or shadowed, an effect that's striking and instantly recognizable. Coins with such mint errors are highly sought after because they are scarce and can't be replicated. Collectors treasure these unusual examples because they tell a story about the coin's journey from the mint to your hands. In addition to error varieties, there are also rare special editions and proof coins from 1984 that collectors keep a close eye on. Proof coins are struck with specially polished dies and planchets to produce a mirror-like finish and exceptional detail. These were originally intended for collectors, and those in pristine condition can command premium prices. Now, you might wonder, after hearing about all these factors, what is the value of such a remarkable 1984 Washington quarter? Here's where things get really interesting. A 1984 Washington quarter, especially one with a desirable mint mark, in flawless uncirculated condition, and possibly exhibiting a rare mint error, can be worth a staggering $295,000. Yes, $295,000 for a quarter that originally circulated with a face value of 25 cents. This incredible price highlights the magic of coin collecting, where rarity, condition, and uniqueness come together to transform ordinary coins into priceless treasures. The 1984 Washington quarter is a perfect example of how even modern coins, often overlooked, can hold enormous value in the right circumstances. If you happen to find a 1984 Washington quarter among your change, take a moment to inspect it closely. Look for that mint mark, check for any unusual doubling or off-center strikes, and consider having it professionally graded. You might just be holding a coin that's worth far more than you ever dreamed possible. Thank you so much for joining me on this detailed journey through the story of the 1984 Washington quarter dollar. If you enjoyed this deep dive and want to uncover more amazing coin stories and hidden values, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and ring that notification bell so you never miss a treasure reveal. Remember, in the world of coins, sometimes the smallest details can unlock the biggest fortunes, and this particular quarter could be worth $295,000. Happy collecting, and I'll see you in the next video.